Welcome to the losers bracket, everybody. Best of 3 series. We are in our first elimination match at the Korea Cup. Now, I again have to say it's officially called the Healing League Season 2, but it's not a league and it's just a double elimination tournament. And it is one of the few Korean events that we're getting these days. We have Low Badugi on the left going up against Attack on Titan. So obviously these names are all translated. Attack on Titan and Beast Titan are two teams that are of course fans of the anime. Low Badugi, I think it references some gambling website or some gambling thingy in Korea. That's at least what I was told when they gave me the names. The trend that we had in the previous matches is still going strong. We have Vala banned out immediately, and up to this point at least, the tournament was an absolute blast. It's honestly crazy to me how many of the matches went to the final map. It's absolutely bananas, and the amount of crazy games that we had is ridiculous. The Stitches game, for example, that was played out in one of the semifinals, I think we had 2 maps with Stitches. It's just incredible. He definitely had some kind of aimbot or something, because that was just not normal. But now that we're heading into this series, I honestly have no idea who I would name as the favorite right now. Attack on Titan did very well the first time this tournament was played out in 2023. But now we have Low Badugi with people like Reset, H82, with Crow. So I'm honestly curious who's going to take it here. Now, in the lower bracket, we have, at least at this point, still best of 3 matches that we're going through. And we're starting things off with Sky Temple, of course. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting who is going to pull ahead here. And again, in a best of 3, obviously, if you lose the first map, then it's already a pretty big deal. In the best of 5s, you can at least recover, try to go for that reverse sweep, for example. Be it as it may, we're starting things off with Blaze and Genji, and then Sylvana, Stehaka, and Brightwing on the other side. So already 2 globals for Attack on Titan, meaning that they can start to also play around the map a bit, not only when it comes to the temples, but trying to push for structures, with Stehaka in particular. There was a time when you were always trying to get at least 1 global on the map, so that for the second objective, the temple that spawns at the bot lane, you can keep 1 hero all the way up at the top, get your team level 10 usually, and then just move down. That doesn't really play out the same way anymore, but sometimes the thought process behind it is still the same. You're trying to get the extra experience and see what you can accomplish with it. Junkrat gets banned. I'm just waiting for the next map where Vala makes it through the draft. We had her to the bans. We had her, I believe, 1 single time where she was picked. It was Battlefield of Eternity in our first or second best of 3 in the first round of the winner bracket. So right at the beginning of the tournament. And ever since then, she was just continuously banned out and not even picked once. So the priority that she has, much, much higher. Now, Anduin gets banned. No light bomb engage with Genji. Keep in mind that when we're talking about the Koreans, they're also playing a lot with the bubble. So it's not exclusively light bomb that gets picked by Anduin, as you see, for example, on the European or the North American server. But we are getting the bubble every now and then. Nuburak together with Blaze, so here comes Rhaegar for the heals. Already a bit of an engage. And generally speaking, when you're playing on Sky Temple, you also want to prep a little bit for the potential boss fight that is going to happen. Because usually it's an inevitability that the boss gets attacked eventually. There's always some team that goes in for a desperation move, or a team that is a bit ahead and thinks, okay, now we can win the game by leveraging a talent advantage, go for the boss, and the opponent has to move in and, you know, take a bad fight, but might still be able to win it and turn it around. So anything that you can do to control the boss space is usually nice as well. Garrosh and Maiev. So already Sumner can go for a bit of zone control, and then we get Reset as our final pick. They could still swap the heroes over, of course, but we're heading into Sky Temple, the first map in the best of 3. Again, quick reminder, we are in the losers bracket right now, so whoever takes the win, moves on, the loser is out of the tournament, will be the first team to be eliminated, and we get Jaina. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Map number 1, Sky Temple. Game number 1, Low Badugi in blue on the left side. We have them here with Genji and Jaina for damage. We get Blaze and Nuburak and Rhaegar for the heals. Oh, on the right side of the map, Attack on Titan coming in this best of 3 series with Sylvanas, Dehaka. We have Maiev and Garrosh, so a triple front line that they're rolling here, with Hikaru and Brightwing, and then Sylvanas as the only range damage that they're currently running on this first map in an attempt to take down a few structures and take the lead here. This could be a pretty intense one. And just a quick reminder, Attack on Titan was defeated in the winner bracket in the quarterfinal, the round of 8, by Team Easy Girl, who had an incredible run. So, very curious how they can perform now, how the Attack on Titan can perform now, because they must have assumed initially that they would be able to progress through the winners bracket. It was a bit of an upset when Team Easy Girl was able to win it, and now it's two pretty strong teams in the lower bracket that face off against each other with some seriously good players. I mean, Reset, of course, being the standout here, but Nuburak is the first one to fall. Reset is also being hit, but that's a very, very quick first blood in the game as they're able to take down Nuburak. So he gets murdered. Blaze versus Dehaka now at the top of the map, and here at the bottom with the help of Sylvanas, they're trying to take the first tower out, drop this one quickly, and prepare for the lane. And as I explained, every single structure that you can kill or damage without using the objective is a huge win already and will give you the lead eventually if you keep trading temples with your opponent. So this is already a great start. They kill a Nuburak, they get a numbers advantage, and they use it to push for the bottom tower, nearly take it out, damage it severely, and have now a small advantage already just as the game begins. If Sylvanas is able to burn another wave down... Ah, look at this, by the way. Reset, the boss that he is on the money pick. That's how you ride into battle in style. Exactly. There is a reason why some of the best players in this game have always ridden the money pick. We're talking Wooby here. We're talking Reset. Snitch has been running it. Some others as well. So there's a reason for it. That's not a coincidence. And Reset, obviously, styling it. Absolutely styling it. Now, camps are getting claimed. Dehaka is now at the bottom of the map. Objective gets announced in 30 seconds. And with the camp, they are trying to now push for the top. First of all, of course, defending the opponent's mercenary camp and then trying to take some structural damage too. Sylvanas just absolutely fantastic in a situation like this. So yeah, coming in and helping out to make sure that this all falls without the wall taking too much damage. But one of the towers is basically already dropped. Indomitable now for Garrosh. Brightwing, disgusting as usual with magic spit. And yeah. Fruit flies need to be swatted. Get the fly swatter and take that thing out. Anyways, over here we got Maiev jumping back, top side. Here comes the attack. So now that they've defended the opponent's mercenary camp, they're getting their own, pushing through this quickly. And that's a lot of damage that's already done there. But they are about to lose Garrosh. He's down. Garrosh gone. Now they're trying to focus on Hikaru. And with Genji zipping in, he's getting easily a second kill. So 2 heroes dead on the side of Attack on Titan. They pushed in a bit too deep and were able to, yes, to do damage on the wall, but then also losing too many heroes, and that means that now a double temple control ends up in the hands of the blue team. So we got Blaze in the middle, we got Nuburak all the way up at the top, and that is going to cost the red team quite a lot of hit points on their towers. So as it stands, we're having all the way down at the bottom of the map still Jaina. She doesn't even join the battle, and they're getting completely caught off guard here as the Blaze gets eliminated. Nuburak is sitting up at the top side, is nearly getting the entire temple, but is missing out on 200 shots. So as far as salvaging the situation goes, Attack on Titan is still at least able to get a couple of shots together. So yeah, this could have been worse, I guess. They have more or less control over the temple in the middle. Do damage to the fort, have gotten a few shots out from the temple at the top. They've still taken an enormous amount of damage, especially at the top lane, but generally speaking, still okay. They're heading experience, they're doing fairly alright. So let's see how much farther they can go with this, specifically with Sylvanas now at the bottom of the map. As I said before, the objective number 2 spawns at the bottom. It's a single temple that spawns. Traditionally in the past, that plays out around level 10. This has of course changed over the years with the changes that Blizzard implemented. And HGC was still going stronger shortly after. And now the chance to maybe even take that fort out, depending a bit on which team is able to get the temple at the bottom of the map. So Attack on Titan, they are starting. Oh, well, first of all, they're getting a catch on an Uberak, who dives back in. But yeah, he gets out. Genji is also saying hello. He's been doing a lot of damage at the top lane battle. The Haga is, by the way, still at the top lane against Blaze. So it's a 4 versus 4 here at the bottom, but he could always move back, of course. Starting to try and take that one out. And bot side, this is now where we're having the Siege Giants just easily doing their thing. Everybody just wants to poke them out. Reset comes in, drops a quick rotation of his abilities on them. And in the meantime, Sylvanas is essentially doing the same thing here, which Genji takes as an invitation to come over, say hello, and maybe get some damage though. It's already, it's a pretty chill start overall. Given the games that we had so far, they're a little bit more relaxed here, but level 10 is now kicking in, and then the dynamic will change. The Temple activating in 30 seconds, and look at this. Freebie damage right there. Just a quick rotation, Sylvanas is coming in, and bam, the fort is on 50% HP. So, nice lead on. Get saved by Brightwing and by Garrosh. But it's these little plays that eventually might give you the win in the game if you consistently can take those small advantages, take some hit points of a gate, of a tower, of a fort. So, yep, nicely done here. But obviously only really works for forts once that you have to go deeper and go for the keeps themselves. You have to expose yourself way too much. The blue team hasn't made a move yet for the shots down here, and this is starting to become a bit of an issue. As mentioned before, if the temple gets claimed, then the first tower is going to fall. So, yep, they are not even trying. Finally, they're rotating in. Genji and Jaina are now coming. Half the shots, more than half the shots, have already been fired off, and the fort is fairly low. Now, the Haga has to deal with the camp at the top, so he has started to move in to take down the mercenaries, and will then probably move down to the bottom of the map to help the team out. Try and get that team fight going. Genji still hiding. Wants to flank in eventually once the fight starts. But Sylvanas has rotated towards the top as well. So all of a sudden they can try and get some pressure going. The last temple shot has been fired anyways. So with a bit of a push, they could make a move here. The Haga is already attempting to secure the flank. They see who's coming in, but it's only some minion damage on the fort. Sylvanas herself is not making the play there. But again, it adds up. While they are starting to chase, the fort has taken, I don't know, what is this, 15, 20% damage. So this adds up over time, and now with another camp that they've taken, they could try and get more done. As Garrosh gets attacked in the middle, this is Indomitable, has to be very careful here, might actually fall. Is a bit low. Brightwing with the heals, and now they're focusing on the fight. It's a 5 versus 4 with the Arca coming in. They're trying to go for reset. Their disc connects, but the tongue didn't. And now Blaze is moving in from the top. Nice Wailing Arrow, but not nice enough. Now here comes the flank with Blaze, and the red team might find themselves in trouble. Brightwing in particular is low and jumps out. Dodges the X-Strike like an absolute boss. Ridiculous reaction there. Perfectly timed. Brightwing was essentially dead and then moved out. Take another look at that play. So here comes Genji, moves in, Brightwing is low, starts to drop insanely low, X-Strike, and bam! Switches position, gets out, Genji has no chance to grabbing it, and Brightwing survives. Not a single kill in that fight. Perfectly played. Now the push at the top, Blaze has to deal with it. At the bottom of the map, we have with 13 versus 13 talents, the next fight already breaking out with the temples activating in a few more seconds. So it's a double temple. They could go for a trade once again. But it's, as far as first games go, this one is way close. I mean, 13 versus 13, 2 kills versus 2 kills. Just now we're going to see the first few forts fall. So yeah, super close game. The Haga gets a couple of shots in the middle. Down here at the bottom of the map, the red team is also able to get a few more. They get attacked though, they have to be careful. 4 players of the blue team are down here. And the first fort has now been destroyed. It looks actually really good for the red team. If they are pushing in now again and steal a few more shots from their opponent, they might get the lead there. Genji has traveled towards the middle of the map to help out Blaze against the Haga. But yep, they're getting the shots. They're getting another fort. That's the second fort destroyed. And now they're going to take out the one at the top. So all 3 forts are now gone. The blue team is responding in kind. has destroyed the one at the bottom of the map and is now taking apart the one in the middle. But they are slightly behind in overall structural situation. I'm missing a word here. I need another coffee. Their structural integrity is lacking. One team has lost all the forts, another one still has half of a fort standing. So it's a small advantage that can really help you if you're consistently trading temples with the opponent. The boss, obviously, looming at the bottom of the map, has a potential tool to be taken. We have 17,000 damage now from Genji. Maiev essentially the same number. 15k for Jaina and 17,000 for Sylvanas. And they're trying to sneak it. Yeah, I was about to say, that seems like a stretch. I would have been surprised to see that work out. So they have to give that up. It's now 15.5 versus 15.5. We're having all the way up at the top right. The Haka hiding for just a moment, but the tanks are keeping an eye on the boss to ensure that nobody just simply sneaks in and grabs this one. The teams just want to go to level 16, and once that they have that, you know, they can play around the next talent here. They just want to ensure that they're not being caught by the opponent as they're running a talent lead. But now that they're showing up at the top, they were thinking about going for it. They were definitely thinking about going for the boss, but it seems like they're trying to go for the Siege Giant camp. And they find the Haka! And the Haka just disappears. I mean, one moment he is there just waddling his way towards the Siege Giant camp, and then the next moment he's just gone, which immediately triggers an attack on the boss by low Badugi. The blue team with a 5 versus 4, so they're going for the boss. Red team is trying to do what they can in order to maybe claim it, but this is not going to happen. Cocoon used, and here comes the boss stun and damage against Garrosh. Maiev also moving back out. Garrosh is in trouble, gets followed right away. He is able to survive, but they're getting chased and the boss is at the bottom of the map. Disc is out, they're barely alive, but they couldn't prevent the boss from being claimed. One hero died, the Haka, early on, and now the push at the bottom and a temple spawning at the same time that they can also start using. So, very nice trap from the blue team. They set a trap for the Haka. They were expecting that somebody would move over towards the Siege Giant camp. It's actually kind of... honestly, I'm not 100% certain if the idea was to bait or if they were just saying, guys, we are going to take that Siege Giant camp if they don't, but let's hide in the bush here. So it might have been a little bit of a double play, where if nobody moves in, they just go and take the Siege Giant camp, but it worked out perfectly for them. Nice move to try and save Blaze with the Ancestral. Quest completed for Jaina. Blaze actually gets away. Maiev wants him and is not in range. Maiev has to retreat. That was really nicely done. Brightwing is now gone. Reset is also somehow alive. Ice blocked it initially. Now Sylvanas is able to take him down, so it's a kill for a kill, but there's the end of the Haka and Maiev as they're coming in for the rest of the team. Already another kill against Sylvanas. And Garrosh, you can run, but you can't hide, baby. Jackpot is gonna die. Full 5-man team wipe. And temple control for the blue team. We have 8 kills to 3. They're starting to fire the shots against the bot lane. And already Genji is making his way towards the gate. They're gonna take the first keep out. And might be able to do more here. Not sure if they are willing to go for core, given that the death timers are still low. I highly doubt it. I would have maybe liked someone to split off into a middle in order to take the wall out there. So far they haven't done that yet. Shots at least get fired, at least a few. But I think they could have done a bit more here. The keep is great, but I think this mid lane wall could also have been destroyed if they split their attention on the two just a little bit. 8 kills to 3 now. Jaina is already way back up at the top. We have, in regards to damage, 29,000 for Genji, 26,000 for Jaina. Sylvanas on 31k. And of course now really the blue team in the driver's seat. That keep, taking that out, was big. It was highly important, really big play. We have nearly level 20 now for the blue team, and Storm Talents are of course going to aid them with the next objective even more. We have camps taken by Attack on Titan. They're trying to get the experience by splitting onto all the lanes and get the minion XP. But it's a pretty big gap here. More than 1.5 levels. Not easy to bridge that in time. And by now we're getting, with the upgrades, the Living Weapon on the X-Strike, Fortified Bunker. Farsia's Blessing is in. And this is just a bit too much to handle, I think. Once that the shrine is up, there will be an enormous amount of pressure for Attack on Titan, or once the temples are up. So, yeah, should be announced soon, but I do not think that there's a chance they're going to get level 20 in time for this. Just doesn't seem like it. And of course, the blue team is now posturing very aggressively on the map. They're starting to threaten to take all of the camps away, as they should. Very little that the red team can do. And now it's 30 seconds, 25, until we're having the temples up. And you can soak quite a fair amount of experience until then, but not enough to get your level 20 talents. They will get them during some time on the objective, but not in time to get the initial shots. So there's for sure going to be a lead for the blue team in this best of 3 series on the first map now. Now their opponents still doing the same thing. Lane to lane, minion wave to minion wave. But the shots are now being fired from both of the temples. Nobody is seriously interrupting this. Garrosh is saying hello and has to be mega careful that he doesn't get killed. The whole idea is, of course, just to slow them down, to fake an attack against the blue team. But they're not fully committed to this. Blaze is at the top, so they're pushing them out a bit. 20 is close, but not close enough. There's Siege Giants at the bottom of the map now. They're moving in again. Dehaka versus Blaze up at the top lane. There comes the stun. Dehaka moves in for 5 versus 4 and gets instantly cocooned. Insta-cocoon. Blaze is still at the top, still getting shots here. And the blue team getting a lot of the shots in the middle as well. Now finally they have to give up the position, as Attack on Titan doesn't only have a numbers advantage, but also catches up in talents. But the topside keep has already taken a huge amount of damage. We have catapults and siege giants at the bottom of the map, where Dehaka is now headed. Actually, no. Reorientates himself towards the middle. But they gotta deal with this. There's too many catapults, even at the 17-minute mark, so they're gonna take this out quickly. And now, again, the posturing around the boss. Maiev gets attacked. Careful, Maiev. Dami needs to be mega careful on this one now. Dami is able to get out. Maiev escapes. But they were looking at that boss, and it seems that Badugi wants to aim for it. That's a bit of a ballsy one. This is exactly what I talk about every time that we're heading into Sky Temple. These boss battles usually decide the game one way or another, and this game might prove that once again. There's the Ancestral. Garrosh, he's gone. Garrosh is gone. Big contagion though. Huge isolation. Is it good enough? No, Sylvanas is gone, and they're about to win another boss. Boss number 2 is going to end up in their hands, very likely as well now. They're losing Blaze, but everybody's... Ah! The red team stole it! The red team actually got it, and now they're winning the fight. Are you kidding me? Blaze down, Nuburak down. This is exactly what I talked about earlier. These Hail Mary moves on a boss when you're engaging into a fight that you should by all rights lose, and then you just somehow bring it back. They're taking another hero down. Well, it's Maiev that falls first. Dami wasn't able to survive here. Genji capitalizes on the reset and takes one hero down after another. So Genji to save the day over here, wiping the red team. Or this might actually have been a march towards the core from the red team. But the resets with the Swift Strike, those were big. So as Genji gets Dehaka and he gets Brightwing after Maiev gets killed. But crazy, crazy stuff. Temples activating in 10. They should be able to get both. The boss gets defeated at the bottom of the map, but boy, what a late game here. Ridiculous. 50,000 damage for Dami's Maiev. 47,000 from... Oh, sorry. 48,000 from Genji. And I am just expecting them to go for the temples. Yeah, Garrosh is actually the one that starts to get a few of the shots here. Sylvanas, careful girl, you're gonna die if you stay there. I didn't know that Jaina was coming, but Jaina indeed was on her way. So now the Siege Giants get claimed. That's more pressure at the bottom of the map, and the shots are being fired through the middle right now, which means that the keep in the middle is likely going to fall. At the same time, we have at the top Blaze starting to take him. So both of these keeps are likely going to fall. Even the core might take damage. The red team is therefore forced to engage and go into the fight. But yep, the keeps are both gone. Keep at the top has been destroyed. Blaze gets a few shots. Middle gets a couple of shots. And now the core gets attacked directly. So, they're really down to the wire now. The only thing that the red team can do is come in and start doing work, forcing a fight. But it starts with them losing one of the heroes, doesn't it? Yes, the Haka is gone. The Haka is gone. Sylvanas is gone. They're losing everything. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let the bodies hit the floor, baby. They go for another 5-man team wipe as Garrosh falls. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be game. Badugi wins the first map in the best of 3 series. Great performance here by them. They're taking Sky Temple 18 kills to 5 and the lead in this losers bracket match. Nicely done, Badugi with the W. GG and well played. Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV. Curse Hollow, map number 2, Badugi, the blue team, they've taken the lead. Some great plays towards the end on Sky Temple, and now we're heading into our second map. I'm actually pretty happy that it's Cursed Hollow. It's one of my favorites. I think these days probably Cursed Hollow, Tomb of the Spider Queen, 2 of the maps that I enjoy the most. There's obviously a lot of very, very strong maps out there. One of the favorites for most people is, I think, Towers of Doom, because we have so many comebacks on Towers of Doom and potential, you know, bangers. But the problem that I have with Towers of Doom is that it always feels like the first, let's say, 10 minutes, maybe even 13 minutes of the map are kind of useless. Very rarely do you end up in a situation where a team establishes a lead that is big enough within that time frame to have a huge impact. So normally it's really just that late mid-game and the late game that plays a role. And it starts getting old after a while. So yes, the comebacks are definitely a big deal with Towers of Doom, but it also has a couple of disadvantages. So personally, I really like Cursed Hollow. I like Tomb of the Spider Queen. It's the maps where you get a bit more action, and Battlefield of Eternity would be another one with lots of team fights, of course. But now that we're getting into Curse, we have Vala as usual banned. We have also Brightwing eliminated. I could have seen some side laners banned out. Blaze and Hogger are, of course, again the favorites there. But this is a little bit similar in the sense that when you're playing on Cursed Hollow, there's 2 bosses now, so you can really dominate a fight by playing globals, by trying to also prepare for some of these battles on the boss points. Diablo gets locked in very quickly for Attack on Titan. And I have to stress this again. This is the losers bracket match. If Attack on Titan loses here, they are out. And if you watched the first season of the Healing League, you know that Attack on Titan Team Beast Titan did extremely well, and this is literally our first elimination match here. So no matter who loses, it's in my eyes already an upset, because on the one hand you have, again, Dami, Reset, you have Crow, H82, and on the other side you have the boys around Hikaru from Attack on Titan. So yeah, sorry, Dami playing for the red team. But no matter who loses here, there's definitely one team gets eliminated that I personally had at least expected to go into the second, third, fourth round maybe even. And yeah, it's kind of nuts that the 2 of them meet each other in the first round of the losers bracket. So pretty crazy stuff. Blaze Diablo, good frontline of course. With that, we're now also looking at Sylvanas here. So she gets quickly picked. That leads us into our bans, and the final ban at this point is, yeah, Malfurion. So Brightwing and Malfurion have been eliminated. Honestly, I'm looking at this, and Malfurion, I could totally see them also go for something like Stukov here. Malf, yes, they've banned him out already a few times. There's also a couple of players that have Malf as a bit of a preference pick. But looking at this, you can still go Anduin and combo him off with something. You can go for Stukov. Deckard Kane would fit there, so there's plenty around. Genji with Lucio, so no Anduin for the blue team at least, but they need a front line, they need a side laner. And, well, for now, we get Dehaka and we get Garrosh. So they get their global, can already try and control the side lane with that. Can push for some forts, for some keeps later, defend, depending on whether they are the ones that lose the structures or not. And with Garrosh, you can always create some kill opportunities. So, of course, an immediate question what exactly Reset is going to get for the extra damage. But on the other side, imagine Greymane here together with Sylvanas. Great for boss pushers. Great also when you're trying to go for structures. Here comes Anduin. And they go for Junkrat. Sylvanas Junkrat is the damage combo for them. And then again, Genji for low Badugi. Are we going to see a 2-0 victory? This is match point number 1 for the blue team. I would not be shocked to see this series go to map 3 though. To the final map. I would not be surprised whatsoever between these two teams. And game number 1 was also very, very close up to the point where it just completely flipped and the momentum swung. But now the final choice, and it is Greymane. So Greymane kind of called it, but I thought it would be the red team that locks it in to push more heavily with Sylvanas. Instead, we're getting Greymane for the blue team, and with that, we're heading into the second map of the best of 3. Game number 2, over on the left side. In blue, we get Dehaka, Greymane, Genji, Garrosh, and Lucio for the blue team, as they are starting to kick things off here and hope to take the series with a 2-0 victory. And then over on the right side, Attack on Titan, playing it with Junkrat and Sylvanas for damage. Dami finds himself on Sylvanas. We got Diablo and Anduin, and Blaze as well, who apparently is Sake. So unfortunately, with a lot of the names in Hangul and players not really going for the nicknames, but sometimes adding real names instead, it's at times a bit confusing to see who's who there. Especially since in the past, of course, they've been using mostly official Blizzard accounts that reflected their actual nickname a little bit further. But yeah, the red team is apparently not only running Dami here, but also Sake, so it's a bit bonkers if they would be out of the tournament after losing 2 series. These are the teams that lost in the winner bracket quarterfinal in the round of 8. And yeah, it's kind of nuts. We had amazing games so far though. It's one of the things that really shocks me, how entertaining all of the matches were in this tournament. Definitely one of my highlights so far this year. So now Anduin is down, he's the first one to fall. Very early game aggression again from both teams, but it is low Badugi that is able to move in and get the quick kill. So nicely done. Anduina is down. And down at the bottom of the map, we got Reset and Ken moving in. I already wanted to go for a joke and saying like Anduina, he hits like a girl and he is down. And I remembered the last time that I actually made that joke, I was immediately accused of sexism. That was in the days of HGC. I said that Tyrael, although we were talking about people, you know, like that do damage in the game. And there was like a 1 versus 1 at the top lane. And I said like, yeah, nothing is going to happen here. There's not going to be a kill because Tyrael hits like a little girl. And I said specifically little girl. And then after the stream, I had like at least there was one person that sent me tweets on Twitter and was just like how sexist this is. How I dare to say like he hits like a little girl. I am reinforcing sexist stereotypes. And I was just sitting there thinking, well, we can go for a little experiment. I'm gonna punch you in the face, and then a little girl punches you in the face, and you tell me what hurts more. Person never took me up on that, but yeah, was very interesting what would set people off. So yeah, again, guys, as you know, biological differences, they don't exist. They are a social construct. So level 4 versus level 4, we get for Anduin the moral compass. He apparently has one. Down at the bottom of the map, Dami, a little bit of work done here. Nice damage actually at the wall. Damn, with those siege giants and him escorting that in, whew. Not bad, my friend. Takes nearly the entire thing down. Now that the first seed is up. It's actually kind of interesting that both of the teams have already taken the siege giants when you think about it. Normally it's around the first tribute that one team tries to delay their own siege giant camp so that they can create another hotspot on the map and force the opponent to make a choice there. So, no. Either way, 1 kill to 0, still a kill against Anduin. It's the only one that we saw, but nice damage at the bottom of the map with the first tribute up. The question then, of course, becomes how aggressively can they push for that? What can they do here? Which is this just going to be a delayed? You know, of course, with Junkrat and some of the other heroes, fantastic tools to go for an interrupt whenever the channel starts up. So that's a nice one. All the way up at the top now, we got Blaze with a jet propulsion that nearly connects. But I like that Dami is rotating very aggressively between lanes now, trying to take structures down. So down here, as expected, Junkrat is just guarding this. Anduin is helping out, so whenever there is an attack, he can help too and can pull Junkrat back if needed. But now level 7 for both teams, and it is just a continuous play with them trying to just interrupt it. Chattering teeth, always a favorite of mine. But now this is gonna be, yep, there it is. The channel happens, the grenades are a bit delayed, and with that we have the blue team with the first tribute of the game. Top side, Tong is missing. That would have been a nice opportunity to maybe get a... not necessarily a kill on Sylvanas. I think she with full HP, she would have been able to escape one way or another. But if you connect that, you can still do a fair amount of damage and then force her to either tap the fountain, to fall back, to be a bit more careful. Genji rotating over, for example, from the mid lane, could then try and go for a kill. So there would have been a few options if that succeeded, which it didn't. But yeah, everybody's just trying to edge out small advantages now. And with the second tribute now spawning up, this is a very, very nice spawn position for the blue team. They should be able to get the second one here very easily. Not even sure if the red team is willing to engage into this and try to contest it. I honestly doubt it a little bit. I don't think they're going to go for that. But yeah, I guess we'll see in a moment. Try to get the attack here against Genji. Blue team is already setting up around this. Sylvanas at the bottom of the map. And this is again the same play. If the red team at the top can interrupt and buy some time, then Sylvanas can push for structures. The Haka knows it of course too and is now moving down in order to prevent that from happening. So he rotates against her. The channel has already happened, so even the delay doesn't work out. That's 2 tributes for the blue team against attack on Titan. And yeah, this is starting to become a bit dangerous. Now, the next tribute is of course going to spawn towards the right side, so easier for the red team to claim it. But it is still a bit of a tricky spot to be in right now. Boss gets taken too, and the red team has actually not started theirs yet. So they could technically rotate top. That's actually a real option now. Either rotate top or push with that boss. Go for their camp later, but yeah, if they wanted to be aggressive here, they could have done that. Genji has sniffed that out. Nobody's really making a move. Genji is just saying hello. Level 10 abilities have kicked in for both teams. We get Light Bomb. Have also for Garrosh the Warlord's challenge, so he's going into his taunt. And the bot lane gets already pressured. Siege Giants are going down as the Haka drops them one after another. And I think this fort is going to fall. Now, to be fair, to top side, this one is definitely going to go down. It's already on its last leg. So this one will be destroyed. Bottom of the map, we're going to see the same thing. And then, in the meantime, all the way up at the top, right here in the middle, the next attack is coming together as well. So, 1 single kill so far in the game. We are 7 minutes in right now, and we have 1 single kill. Since nobody decides to go for any big fights, there's one thing that I actually have to raise, because I need an opinion. How annoyed are you guys that the fingerprint sensors on phones are these days on the screen? I absolutely hate it. My old phone, I love my new phone. I have a Pixel 8, I had it for a while now, and I really like it. But my old phone had the fingerprint sensor on the power button on the side, and now it's in the middle of the screen, and I absolutely despise that. Why are they doing that? I hate that with a passion. If I buy myself a new phone, I'm going to tell you one thing. If there's a phone that is on the same level but has the fingerprint sensor to unlock it on the side, I will definitely go for that. Is there actually anybody out there that prefers it in the middle of the screen? I can't believe that for even a second. So yeah, it's crazy to me. Some decisions from manufacturers, good lord, like who is giving you guys advice? That must be a thing where they're saving some money with it. Ridiculous. Level 13 talents, soon TM, bosses defeated, forts taken out. Nothing essentially happening in the last couple of seconds with this one. And here comes the curse. The tribute is claimed, wasn't contested. The curse is in 8 minutes into the game. A single kill and we have a curse. So Genji is moving towards the middle, has already set that catapult into motion at the bottom of the map. So they're going to get damage in at the wall. Top side, it is only Blaze that is defending against the Haka. Level 13 talents are giving an advantage to low Badugi as well. I'm personally not 100% certain, looking at this, that the blue team is going to walk away with a lot of damage here. So far the defense was strong. And Sylvanas is defending the bot lane. The middle is the hotly contested spot right now. And Anduin goes down. That's the second time that Anduin dies. Outside of Anduin, nobody is actually falling in this game. So, yep. There's the Riptire. And let's see if they can get at least one fort, and it seems like they can. But for Curse, that's not a whole lot. They got map control now, of course. They push these lanes out. They have a lead in experience, but one fort with a Curse, that's a little bit questionable if you ask me. Top has been defended, bottom has been defended. It's only the mid lane where they could do some work. So, yeah, a bit tricky. 13,000 damage now for Junkrat. He's the top damage dealer in the game. Followed by Greymane, who essentially has the same numbers here as he does. And then you get Sylvanas with 11,000. Hark at the top, still pushing a little bit. But it's a pretty interesting game in the sense that it's close. I mean, again, this is a best of 3. It's not a best of 5. And it's match point for the blue team. So the red team is trying to play this very, very safe, but they're losing Anduin twice. And now the question is simply, can the blue team pull farther ahead and extend that lead that they already have? Or will Attack on Titan bring this back? It's going to come down to a big fight, to a big showdown between the two teams, no matter what. That is going to happen here. And Genji at the bottom against Junkrat. I mean, if at some point, for example, H82 is able to just pop off and get a solo kill against someone like Junkrat, they might be able to get further ahead by claiming a boss, maybe steal a few of these camps away. This one would be a good example. If you can move in and take the bruiser camp of your opponent, then you're definitely off to a good start. But they are patient. They're waiting for level 16. Once the level 16 talents are in, they have a window that they could try and use to pressure for a tribute, to maybe pressure for a boss. But the next tribute is going to spawn at the top right. And that's actually, this is the spawn position for the next one right here. And it's kind of interesting because if they get 16, no, by the time that the tribute is there, it's going to be 16 versus 16. I was thinking, because the situation is as follows. Attack on Titan has already one tribute. So this spawning position at the top right is obviously better for them. So if they can claim it, then they have 2 tributes to 0 and really apply pressure with every consecutive spawning tribute against the blue team. But if the timing would have worked out properly for the blue team, if they would have gotten level 16 talents just as the tribute spawned, then get that for free, the next one would have spawned in a better position for them. It wouldn't have spawned towards the right side of the map. So that doesn't really play out. Both teams have level 16 talents, but that would of course have been the dream here. Boss is nearly taken, so they were very likely going to commit to this. Tribute is up, by the way. Boss, are they going to keep it up or does it get leashed? Boss gets leashed. Fight continues. A lot of time wasted, so to say, by the blue team trying to grab it, and they couldn't. And now the move towards the top is happening to get that tribute. So things are actually flowing fairly alright for Attack on Titan. But as Sylvanas makes her way towards the top, the blue team immediately tries to retake. They have, of course, Greymane in the mix, so he's very, very good on bosses. But they gotta let it go again. And Genji sneaks over and takes it. Genji takes the tribute. Fight at the bottom of the map. But that's 2 tributes now in play. 1 for each team. If they get out here, that would be amazing. But Sylvanas disables the fort. They go for Garrosh. He's gone. So the fort will fall and Garrosh has died. Genji is still trying to control the flow of the game on the map. And now they could go for the boss. And that is exactly what they're doing. They prevented it from being taken by the blue team twice. And Attack on Titan is now trying to steal everything away here. Diablo moving towards the top. It seems like they're going to try and intercept him. There's the drag. Yeah, but Anduin has none of it. Anduin pulls them away. Boss at the bottom is now getting taken. So they have 1 boss already, and now they could make a play for the second boss. It starts to get a bit more close and a lot more interesting, because now, even without more than a kill, they have only 1 kill and only a single tribute that they got throughout the game. We're now all of a sudden looking at Attack on Titan going for a double boss play and potentially taking control of this map. They might be able to force game number 3. It might actually happen. But right now, Junkrat just accepts it. He's not even trying to move out of the circle. He's like, yeah, what are you gonna do? Root me, baby. I don't care. So, second boss is taken. The one at the bottom of the map is low. Gets defeated. The one at the top is still gonna push as the tribute spawns. And how is the blue team going to react? What do they prioritize? The defense against the boss? Are they prioritizing the tribute? 20,000 damage for Greymane roughly.
That keeps coming. Yep, Anduin with the double pull, of course, after level 16. So he comes in and saves another target. Dehaka sitting at the sides. Nice lick against Blaze, who had to be rescued by Anduin. The fight not over, but while all of this plays out, Boss is doing damage over here and is starting to burn this down. So this wall will fall. The keep might take damage unless they are moving somebody back. But the tribute is heavily contested by both teams as they're starting to move in for it. There's also a big wave building up at the bottom of the map. So for the red team, there's a lot of hot zones that they can exploit. Diablo gets caught, gets hit by the ult, light bomb, he connects two, and the jet propulsion follow-up seals the deal on Dehaka. Dehaka is down, Greymane comes in with a kill against Sylvanas together with Lucio. The keep at the top has fallen, Boss is actually going for core already, and is going to get defeated there very quickly, I assume, but Garrosh falls. It's just getting crazy. 3 kills, 2-3. The shield is falling on the core, there's catapults pushing in, guys. The blue team has to be careful. They're losing hit points on the core already. Way more than I expected. Greymane is gone. They're going to lose the game right here. They're going to lose the game now. I don't even know what they're bothering with the tribute. Screw the tribute. Right-click the shit out of that core, dude. Like, head over and take this. And they're not doing it. What? They're not doing it. Why are you not clicking the core? Guys, what are you doing? 3 heroes were dead. 2 were still down for another 30 to 40 seconds. Why did they not end the game? The core was at 48%. 2 defenders were all that they had. They are paid off. Somebody has to check their PayPal accounts. I mean, seriously. Somebody got paid off in this one. That decision making is criminal. You were already there. You were right there at the Siege Giant camp. Oh boy. 20 versus 90 now. They get the curse. They're gonna grab this one. Yep. So the blue team is gonna be cursed. They're still in a tough spot. Lucio is the only one, by the way. Actually, no, it's not true. Lucio and Genji, the 2 Overwatch heroes, are the only ones over on the blue team side that haven't fallen yet. The advantage, obviously, still goes to the red team. Attack on Titan has taken full control of this game. Is now pushing for the forts here, but not ending the game. They are absolutely criminal. That was a sure victory. They had their healer still up. They had hit points. Only Sylvanas was dead. Only 2 defenders. Not even both damage dealers or anything like it. So yeah, now they have to try and use the curse to their advantage to go for it. And they might end it right here. The defense is trying the best that they can. Diablo in a bit of trouble, gets saved by Anduin. Keep about to go down. Big push at the bottom of the map, which is pushing for keep number 3. So very likely all of the structures are going to fall now. 16 more seconds until the curse subsides. And this is going to be the final structure taken. They're losing ground everywhere. Attack on Titan, playing it safer than I thought any team could play Heroes of the Storm. But the result is essentially going to be the same. They're going to win game number 2. As expected, we're going to game number 3. Awesome stuff here in the losers bracket between Badugi and Attack on Titan. GG and well played. Game number 3, Battlefield of Eternity. Attack on Titan is playing against Badugi, and yeah, we have a match on our hands, don't we? As advertised. In game number 1 is already something that we were talking about. So yeah, BOE now with our final map in this series, and only one team can advance to the next round. The loser drops out of the tournament, which is going to be sad no matter who it hits. Again, on the one side we have for the red team Sake, Dami, Hikaru, and then on the other side you have players like Reset, H82 and others. So no matter who gets hit here, it's going to be a loss for the tournament, but that's just how it goes. Slowly and steadily we're going to drop team after team until we're down to the final 2. And by the way, I confirmed, so the grand final is a best of 9 series, and the team that comes from the winner bracket will have a 1-0 advantage.
I personally am not a fan of the 1-0 advantage rule. I think that is, first of all, confusing for a lot of people that don't follow the entire tournament, that only tune in, for example, for the grand final. So yeah, never going to happen in any of the tournaments that I personally run. I think it's a very silly way of doing it. But I am a bit intrigued by the best of 9. I can't remember when I casted the best of 9 the last time. It's definitely not something that I want as a rule for all tournaments, but every now and then, you know, throwing it out as a bit of an odd one and a bit of a curiosity is kind of interesting. Vala banned again. Tychus, Hanzo also get the axe now that we're getting into Battlefield of Eternity. We are starting things off with Lucio for Attack on Titan. So Lucio is in the house. And how is the blue team going to react? I mean, at some point, getting that Genji Anduin combo, it could happen here again, because low Badugi, they love to play Genji. They lock him in immediately together with Blaze for the side lane. For BOE, it makes a lot of sense, of course. Now, since this is Battlefield of Eternity, you also want something for the Immortal. Now, you can play a mage, but it seems like Li Ming is not something that the Koreans are really playing. In Europe, that would be one of the immediate picks. Li Ming, Chromie, very good for poke from the distance. Can also snowball your team fights a bit. But over here on the Korean side, Sylvanas, a much higher priority option for them after Hanzo got banned out. One hero that we've seen a couple of times now, which could be picked here as well, is of course Lunara. And since we're already talking about the differences in the meta a little bit, let's also quickly talk about Tychus. You would, I think, on the European side, on the Western side in general, on Battlefield of Eternity, pretty much never see Tychus being banned. You would basically never see him picked either. Maybe in a very rare case scenario, but he definitely doesn't warrant a ban on this map, and his priority has been absolutely destroyed for a long time now. There was a time when Tychus was played pretty regularly, but I would say for the last nearly 2 years, year and a half maybe, Tychus has more or less disappeared. He gets occasionally picked on Infernal Shrines, but it's not that he is playing a massive role in the meta anymore. And it's a clear difference of priority that we see between the regions right now. Anubarak and Brightwing get locked in, so Anubarak plus Blaze as the combo. We get Brightwing instead of Anduin, so no Light Bomb engaged from Genji, but they have Brightwing, which of course offers a lot. That leaves us with our final 2 picks for Attack on Titan in this last game of the best of 3 series. Dami still needs to pick, Jackpot needs to pick. We have no main tank for them yet. Here comes Uther as a main tank, nice. And Maiev, Uther main tank, plus Lucio, and then Urel and Maiev, Sylvanas for added damage. So definitely a little bit more out there when it comes to compositions, especially when we're talking, of course, about the Korean teams. Kind of reminds me just a little bit of what Capybara used to do on Battlefield of Eternity and other maps, when we all of a sudden get a Dehaka main tank, a Chen main tank from him. Always super exciting and super fun when we see this. But now the final choice. We need more damage. Reset comes in, takes Tracer, and with that we're ready. Game number 3, Battlefield of Eternity. The final map, we're going the distance in this elimination match. Reset is playing Tracer on game 3. We got Blaze and Uburak at that front line, Brightwing for heals, and then of course Genji. So a Genji Tracer damage combo for the blue team after they just lost on Cursed Hollow. And over on the right side of the map, we have Attack on Titan with Dami on Maiev again. Uther as a main tank, plus Urel on the side lane, and then Lucio played by Hikaru for the real heals, and Jackpot on Sylvanas. Yeah, this is it. This is what it comes down to. A game on Battlefield of Eternity, and well, already Urel falling into the trap at the top and gets murdered.
And we say bye-bye!
Gets killed, has no chance. Of course, on the other hand, at the bottom of the map, the red team then decided that they would just try and go for some structures, and they didn't only take out a tower, but they dropped the hit points off the gate, also the 50%. So, kind of interesting. The counter pressure at the top is mounting up nicely too, and since they kept 2 of their heroes at the top, they can definitely repay them in kind. So, a really interesting start into the game.
So let's look at the structural damage here. I would say that Attack on Titan is actually a bit ahead when it comes to structure damage. But with that 1 kill to 0, there is an experience lead now for low Badugi. So, pretty interesting. It's a fun one. It's honestly a pretty interesting situation that we find ourselves into, with the teams accelerating the game a bit. I like the trap set up at the top for Urel, but then also the problem at the bottom of the map that they had here. So, yeah, 1 kill to 0. We have teams already starting to roam around, shift around a little bit. The 4-man is moving towards the top in an attempt to take the next wall out too. Yeah, Blaze is moving in. Tether, where's that stun when you need it? No, in this case, on Uther. And Brightwing to the rescue. Nice damage from IF, but Brightwing was able to save Blaze, or this could have backfired very, very quickly. Now the attack is coming for that wall. And Nubarak is now moving in and is attempting to help out. We have Tracer against Urel at the bottom. It's a pretty dynamic game. Very, very dynamic game right now as they are starting to get aggressive. And yeah, time will tell. Now, down at the bottom of the map, we are looking at Reset and Urel still doing their 1 versus 1, but it's just the top lane that matters the most now. The early level 4 talent is already in. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they can do here. But the attacks, they keep coming. And, of course, right now, we have still some damage and counter damage done as they're trying to take these walls out. Urel is alone at the top, sorry, the bot lane. And is able to maybe do a little bit more work here. Escorts another minion wave in, so that will cost the fort a few hit points. Not going to be anything crazy. Blaze is now moving down to soak all that up. But every bit of XP can matter when you're talking about the first objective and the potential of getting a level 7 talent. It normally doesn't come to it, but if you are able to get small advantages, maybe get a kill, get an extra minion wave, then you could try and get there. So now that we have the Immortals already up, let's see which team is able to push and go for the first objective here. There's a camp at the bottom and one at the top. Sylvanas is of course going to move down to the bot lane in order to deal with it there. But in the middle, the attack is still going strong. We don't really have any kind of hero that is just mega strong against Immortal. There's no Hanzo here. Oh, and Nubra gets caught and killed. Nice! That's the counter kill now, where Attack on Titan is able to take one hero out and maybe get the halftime show. As I was just about to say, we don't have Hanzo, we don't have an arrow-built Bala or anything of the sorts. But if you get the entire team on the objective, then you of course can still run the hit points down within seconds. So currently, that's the end of the blue team's Immortal on the halftime show. Each team has taken out the opponent's mercenary camp. And now the chance to try and get the first Immortal onto the lane. Another big minion wave, by the way, down here. So this is again going to damage the fort, and quite significantly at that. That's a double wave, essentially, that Urel was just now moving in. Somebody might have to move down in order to deal with it, and Genji is doing exactly that. So he zips in, but look how much damage has been done here. That fort has suffered. That fort has really taken a beating. So, little bit crazy. Now, we got 1 kill against the kill, but the lead is slowly heading over to Attack on Titan. As they're starting to get some additional work in. Careful, maybe now. Uther, can they kill him? Yep, they can. The main tank, Uther, is gone. Ghost is still around, can help them a bit as they're still trying to get the objective here. No counter kill just yet. Genji gets the cooldown back and Swift strike us out as they're going for Lucio. Now the fact alone that they have 2 supports and Uther doubles as a tank allow them to sustain themselves through it and still grab the objective. So now we have 7 kills to 7, level 7 to 7. 2 kills to 1. Exaggerating this a little bit. We don't have 14 kills 5 minutes into the game. I'm sorry, it wasn't that crazy. But yeah, 3 kills in total, level 7 versus level 7. And they're starting to prep up the top lane as the Immortal comes in. And this is of course a massive shield that it's sporting. A huge shield, and it will allow them to take down the fort, for sure, especially with Sylvanas. If they can get a couple of kills, then that would of course be even better. Blaze and Urel are currently down at the bottom of the map, so this is essentially a 4 versus 4. And Tracer gets caught and killed. Oh boy! Blue team won the first map. They locked in a W on Sky Temple, but then on Cursed Hollow, Attack on Titan equalized the score, and now they are doing such a fantastic job in the early stages of this one. This is going to be another kill. That's the end of Blaze. Yep, and they're losing the fort at the bottom of the map. So essentially, both forts have now been taken out, and we have 3 kills to 2 in favor of Attack on Titan. A great start for them. Just a great start. They might have lost Urel at the top lane, first blood, but now 2 forts are destroyed. First objective was big for them. They got their kills, they have a lead in experience. So, yeah, this is pretty sweet. I mean, right now, we'll see. Level 10 is going to kick in, and they might be able to... I mean, I guess at the end of the day, they're going to take some of the mercenary camps. They could take this one with level 10, I suppose. But we'll see. The gap isn't massive or anything, but you could actually go for that. Unless they find something else that they want to go for. But if they really wanted to, they could try and invade the opponent's camp with a level 10 ability. They have half a level. That's not nothing. So the camp is up, but they're actually not moving in for it. They were hoping to rotate down to the bottom of the map and catch somebody here, I guess. And now that they wasted a little bit of time, even if it was only a few seconds, they won't be able to do this anymore without the opponent reaching level 10 in time and then, of course, fighting for it. So they're just letting it slide, and they're not making a play.
10 abilities are kicking in, and we're getting the Sacred Ground for Urel, so no Ardent Defender for her. We've seen this taken out a few times, dependent on the map choice as well. So Sacred Ground it is for now. And on the other side, Cocoon, we get Bunker, Brightwing as usual with Blink Heal here. But I'm a bit more interested to see... Oh, Divine Storm from Uther! Alright, so no Panic Button, no Divine Shield. We get a Divine Storm for additional stuns in CC. That could get nasty if he hits a proper one here. So they're going for the halftime show victory again. Genji has, by the way, not made a choice yet. I would still assume that he goes X-Strike. And he doesn't. He goes for Dragon Blade. Dragon Blade for Genji. He would definitely like a Divine Shield with that. Old school HGC combo. But haven't gotten anything of that. So Blaze is defending at the top. Down at the bottom of the map, they made a move for Genji, but also tried to take that camp out. And now the question, who wins the second objective? The blue team really has to make a couple of moves or they're going to be in trouble. This was already YOLO'd out and missed, so Maiev not able to lock that in. Dami needs to be a bit careful there. It's going now to the front for another tether. Ground is used by Urel. She's already moving away. They're trying to re-engage as they're jumping in on it. The bunker gets dropped. And the Divine Storm hit nothing. They missed so many of their ults in that fight. The red team is really struggling here a bit. They are missing a lot of ults. They're very low. Blue team has also lost a lot of hit points. Genji is dropping low on mana as well. Or he might try and re-engage here and get a Swift Strike reset. It's level 12 versus level 11. But Disc missing, Divine Storm missing, Wailing Arrow not doing enough for them either in that fight, so they gotta be super careful. Some of the ults are now coming back. The Disc, for example, is available. Could move in for it and try and use it here. Blaze, careful. Gets isolated a bit. No bunker for another 28 seconds for him. Genji saying hi to, zips to the top and immediately moves out. Sacred Ground by Urel, trying to sustain herself here. And this is the problem when the fights move this much. You lose the ult right away. It's a low cooldown, of course, but you would love to do a bit more out of it. They're going for Tracer, and they just can't kill her. Tracer is able to get away. Now Reset gets some assistance from Brightwing as the hit points start to come back in again. But the damage has already been done. Cocoon gets used. The Immortal nearly taken. They want to save Lucio, though. Here comes the Jet Propulsion just after we saw the Wailing Arrow. Nice dodge on that, but Nubarak a bit low. He's not the only one. They're going for jackpot for Sylvanas, and she finds herself on the wrong side of the battle. She falls, and Nubarak might just make it. Brightwing with the heal, the Immortal. They could take it at any moment. That's exactly what Urel is trying to do. She goes for the objective, and she grabs it. So well played by Urel. Objective is taken. They still have that 1 level lead, and the blue team, they have to fall back. They've gotten their kill. They took down Sylvanas. But now the Immortal is traveling towards the top lane. Sylvanas will be back soon, TM. And they can try and push for the first keep at the bottom of the map, I suppose. Boy, what a third game. What a back and forth here. So 3 kills to 3.
And now we're looking at a level 13 advantage, but the defense is going strong. Sylvanas is still trailing a little bit, is now making her way over and is nearly there. And yep, here comes the play through the gate, through the towers, taking both of them down. 3 kills to 3, and with the help of Sylph, they are starting to take down the bottom keep. The Cocoon against Uther is there nearly immediately. There's still a level 13 talent that is lacking for low Badugi. They know they're in trouble here, but they can hold on to the keep for a bit longer. It drops to 50% HP, but the kill happens. Tracer gets caught and killed, and that might just seal the fate of the keep after all. They're pushing again aggressively past it. No level 13 talent for the blue team. Great sacred ground here by Urel as she controls the space, and now as the talent gets picked up by the blue team, they've lost the keep. So up to this point, they haven't been able to take down a single fort, but they now lost not only their forts, but also keep number 1, and they're getting pinned down in their own base more and more and more. 1 level until 16 for Attack on Titan, which makes them incredibly dangerous here. Down to the bottom of the map. Yeah, Hikaru making his move. Already starting to make a bit of a play. Ken, careful. And get the sacred ground. They should be able to buy them some time. Sylvanas is at the top. Is she moving in or is she just pushing? Seems like she's going to push. They're taking over here. Urel is buying as much time as she possibly can. And the more time she buys, the more time Sylvanas has to do damage at the top lane. They're jumping out. They give the camp up. The chase is still happening. And Sylvanas is pushing for the top side keep. Is moving back. Could have stayed a little bit longer, honestly. But it's already tough enough as is, because the catapult is going to do damage at the keep. They're starting to rotate very slowly over towards the top, but they're losing more than 50% of the hit points. And level 16 is nearly ready. I mean, look at this. This thing drops down mega quickly, is now at 25%. So, really bad news now. Mega bad news for the blue team. They're on their last leg, essentially, and they're 2 levels behind, and they're lacking the level 16 talent. So they are in some serious, serious trouble right now. Sylvanas is jumping in again. They go for Nubarak. That has to be it nearly, right? And Nubarak is down. If they don't get a counter kill immediately, then it's basically lights out. But they can kill Sylvanas. Nice. That was important. Super important kill. And they're looking for more. 4 versus 4 situation now on the map. Camp that pushes towards the top lane. Very important kill. If they are not able to get that counter kill, then it is just game over right then and there. So with that, we have the push for the Immortal once again as they're trying to do their thing. If they get another objective, this top keep is doomed, and therefore also the game of low Badugi. Once, if you don't do any damage to structures yourself, if you can't take any forts down, and then you lose everything except for the core, the catapults alone are eventually going to end the game unless your opponent is inking hard and is throwing the game away. So now we have 40,000 damage from IF, top damage in the game, 38,000 from Genji. He comes in at 2nd place with 36,000 for Tracer. Catapults already nibbling at the shield. They will be taken down easily. They're only 14.5 minutes in. But the halftime show's over. That's Attack on Titan. Winning the first part of the objective. And after the switch, we can see them at the bottom of the map just coordinating the next attack. Collapsing onto this beast and trying to take it out. Right wing at the top, trying to defend. Make sure that the catapults are not pushing for that keep and take it while they are trying to win the objective. Level 16 is so damn close. That's another reason why Brightwing is at the top. Trying to get that talent for them. Can't quite make that work. They have to fight before. It's tough. They're so close to 16, but they just don't have it. They're so damn close. There's the Disc and the Divine Storm used at the same time. Bit of an overlap again from Attack on Titan. Top side, keep under pressure. This might fall to the catapult if this continues. The keep is going to be in trouble. And the objective is nearly taken to Attack on Titan with all the cards in their hands now. Here comes again the Sacred Ground. Genji, Dragon Blade trying to make a play. And he is able to survive, but Brightwing isn't. The Fruit Fly is gone. Now they lose Tracer. That's the end of Blaze. Anubrak is dead. And this is game. They go for the objective. It was right there, so why wouldn't you? and now they can go down to the bottom of the map and just end the game. The only defender that is still alive and kicking is Genji, and he's not gonna be enough in order to stop this. What a turnaround in this series after the 1-0 victory for Low Badugi on Sky Temple. It is Attack on Titan that moves on to the next round of the losers bracket. They send the blue team packing. Reset is out of the tournament with his team, and Dami and friends are advancing. Attack on Titan with a 2-1 victory. They lock in the W on Battlefield of Eternity and move on to the next round of the lower bracket. GG.